Hello, I'm Kathy Bissell. Welcome to the Golf Show 2.0. This week we have a special guest who is involved with the world's largest amateur golf tournament, which is held at Myrtle Beach. Gary, I know you're very familiar with it, so why don't you introduce our guest?
Well, I have to say the Olympics pale in comparison to the scope of the World Amateur Handicap Championship, Myrtle Beach. We've got the man of the hour, Dylan Hoffman, to tell us about it. There's like 3,000 plus players, more than 50 courses in, it goes over the state line. Does it go all the way down to Georgia? No.
Not quite. No, we
North
haven't quite
Carolina, but
expanded
it
down there.
covers about 50, 60 miles of coastline because Myrtle Beach has 12,000 golf courses and all of them are pretty good. So how many players are you expecting this year, Dylan?
Yeah, so should be right on par again. First off, thanks for having me, guys. Excited to be here. But yeah,
Sure.
going to still have over 3,000 players again in town, which is, when you sit down and think about it, just an astounding number, especially when they're all in town playing golf. But yeah, 3,000 plus players, over 50 golf courses involved for the week. Due to flights and stuff, we'll probably have about 31 courses in play every day, which is a lot of moving parts, obviously. But yeah, 31 courses a day, over 3,000 players. What more could you ask for in Myrtle Beach?
How would you just like to be in charge of making the tee times each day? Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Let's just be glad that this golf tournament goes on in 2024 and not 1904, because computers are definitely a friend. That is for sure. I would hate to do this on paper, which, granted, when this event started, I'm sure a lot of that stuff was done on paper, but that was way before my time. And luckily, we do have a lot of computer-generated things nowadays that helps. But no,
people would be
awesome
waiting for their stagecoach shuttle to the course. That'd be tough.
Yeah, have to line up the horses and everything to get them there, man.
Well, I heard something about ice cream.
Yes, ice cream, food, snacks, everything you want. So something that makes this event special, the world's largest golf tournament also has the world's largest 19th hole. It takes place every night of the event. So the event in general, it's a 4-day golf tournament for those that don't know. We start on Monday morning, and then the final round for all flights is on Thursday. Our flight winners playoff takes place on Friday, which, as the name states, all the flight winners from over the 60 to 70 flights we have will all participate that day for the overall world champion title. But yeah, going back to the ice cream, every night from 6 to 9 o'clock, we have the world's largest 19th hole at the Myrtle Beach Convention Center. It's open bar, free food, all you can eat, all you can drink. It's a good time. Celebrities, Charlie Reimer will be there. Katrick and McGinnis will be there. We have a few other new ones this year that we're excited about that I'll get into later. But yeah, Friendly's Ice Cream is definitely the most popular spot on the night for sure.
Wait, Katrick and McGinnis, so where are the celebrities? I know those guys. No, I played in this event 4 or 5 times. Golf Magazine used to sponsor it. I was part of Time Inc., owned Golf Magazine.
Nice.
I was embedded in the championship flight. And honestly, well, the highlight for me is playing all the different courses. But the number 2 highlight is in the evening, you go to the convention center, and there's, I don't know how many different food stations set up, but if you want Mexican food, you go to this corner. If you want steak, you go here.
Yeah.
You have all these choices. Of course, there's a line for everything, but because if there's one thing people like, it's free food. However, out in the hallway of the convention center, Friendly's has a stand where they give you some free ice cream. And
they do.
Let me
we've
just
actually
say,
over time we've had to get a second Friendly station, so now we have 2. So
yeah,
better.
It went around the entire arena, the line, because if there's one thing old people go crazy for, and a lot of people playing this are older, it's free ice cream. That just lights people up. I don't know why.
It does.
They do sundaes and toppings and all that kind of stuff, and sprinkles, or is it just?
They have some. Yeah, so they'll have. So obviously they're there every night and they want to keep the flavors fresh. So they'll have their vanilla, they'll have their chocolate every night, but they will sprinkle in some new flavors each night and have some toppings and such kind of sitting out for you to make it your own. But yeah, it's the most popular spot. And as you said, I know a lot of older people play, but I mean, myself, I'm 26 years old, just graduated college 3 or 4 years ago. I don't know why more people my age don't come. I mean, if I didn't really know about the event before I started working here. I grew up in North Carolina, so not too far away, but yeah, if you're a 26-year-old single guy like me, loves golf, loves traveling, loves the beach, Myrtle Beach World Amateur is your place to be.
Well, maybe some of those people weren't clear, as Kathy pointed out, about whether sprinkles were included or not. That could have been the breaking point. No, I think, Dylan, the thing you said that intrigues me about the tournament, it's my favorite part. Well, there's two things. Obviously, this is the only time I play I'm good enough to low handicap amateur. I'm good enough to have played in a lot of actual amateur tournaments.
Right.
Your 12 handicapper never gets to play in real tournaments. This is their one chance to experience it. This is the closest they're going to come to playing in a PGA Tour event. And I think the cool part is come out on Friday and watch the winner of the worst flight with a 27 handicap. He's in the same event Friday as the guy who won the scratch handicap category. Right. They're all playing together, different handicaps. I mean, that can't happen in any other sport.
No, it's the coolest part about the event. We did it, I think it was 2021 or 2022. We did a play on words called "This Is Your Major," and it really plays true because, I mean, for like you said, the average 15 handicap from Virginia is never going to get to go face the pressure of a U.S. amateur or a PGA Tour event or anything like that. The Myrtle Beach World Am is their spot to come. And to go into detail a little bit more about Friday, so we got, like you said, all the flight winners, whether you're in the championship flight 1, whatever, or the season senior 80-plus division with net handicaps, you're there on Friday, you're competing against them, man. You get the same pressure they get. You get the same award at the end of the day. They're all playing for the same trophy. It's by far the coolest part of the event.
Now, how do people enter? Can just anyone enter? Is there an online entry form, or do they have to write to someone?
So it's open to everybody. Obviously, no matter what skill level you are, whether you're a scratch, +4, 25 handicap, who cares? You're going to all come down, have fun, play your golf, enjoy the 19th hole. Players can register online. Registration actually technically ends online August 2nd. I know that is tomorrow, obviously, but handicap verification does not start until August 12th. We will take a few registrations over the phone between now and then. So depending on when you're listening to this show, you're more than welcome to give us a call. If it's not yet August 12th, we'll try to squeeze you in best we can. I'm sure we'll be able to, because like we say, we don't want to turn anybody away. But we do, at least since the last time Gary played here, I believe, we do have a gross division now. We have men's gross, which is 49 and under. We have senior gross, 50 to 59-year-olds, and then mid-senior gross, which is 60 and above. And then also have a women's gross division as well. All 4 of those divisions have grown a lot over time. And then on top of that, a newer one we even have, newer than those, is the Just for Fun division. So that is actually the only division where we allow players to preset their pairings, do all the requests and stuff like that. So let's say the 3 of us are wanting to come down to Myrtle Beach. We like professional golf, we like competitive golf, but at the end of the day, we just want to have fun. We're able to come down, play the Just for Fun division, request to be with each other all 4 days, and turn it into a buddies trip, which is the ultimate buddies trip at that point. You're at the World Am with the 19th hole and all that.
Come on, Dylan, you're trying to ruin this tournament by including fun? What are you doing?
I know, as if we didn't have enough fun, we had to make a division just for fun, man.
It's not supposed to be fun.
That's a fabulous idea. I bet you could fill that up 2 or 3 times.
It has grown rapidly. So my first year here on staff was 2021. I believe we introduced that in 2022, if I'm not mistaken. And we already have nearly 150 players every year that play in that flight.
Wow.
Prepare to be with their buddies and all that. And it's an awesome time. They have the same access to all the prizes and everything. Obviously, there's no competitive side to it, so we can't give out top 5 prizes to based on scores in that flight, but we do give them out randomly to where everybody can still get the access to them. It's just more of a random process than a leaderboard process, if that makes sense.
Well, I joked about a lot of people being older there, and they're in the higher flights. When I played in the low handicap division, it was mostly younger guys. And I can say, 2 things. A lot of those guys who said they were +2s were really like, regular 3s. Handicap was lower than they really were. But a lot of them came there because I forget who it was, but there was a guy running a skins game in the parking lot. And you get 60 guys throwing in $40 a day. And if there's only one skin, I mean, you might walk out of there with $1,800. So these guys are there.
Like you said, it's definitely a guy.
That was great.
Yeah, it's awesome. Obviously, like you said, it is a guy in the parking lot setting it up. We don't actually have our hands in those. A lot of players do enjoy them. If you want to put your money into the hat with that, sure. It's not hours at the end of the day, but a lot of players do love that, and that is their favorite part of the week. We actually have introduced some skins games on the weekend prior. We do run and manage those to where we sell it kind of as a practice round. So we set aside 6 courses, 3 of them on Saturday, 3 of them on Sunday. So once you get checked in early, if you're wanting to get a practice round in and have your shot at some cash, we do run those on the weekend prior, and they always sell out. So it's a great time. And, yeah, like you said, with that many players throwing some money in the hat, it turns out to be some pretty nice paydays at the end of the round.
Can you tell us how much is the entry fee? And it does not include hotels, as I recall. You have to get your own, right, or not?
You do, yeah. So we actually have an accommodations page on our website. So a lot of the courses that want to get involved will offer discounted rates to World Am players, which is very grateful, and it helps a lot when you're booking it. But whenever we open up registration, it normally opens in February or March. This year's early entry price, as we call it, it was available from the end of February through mid-May. That price was $629. It included all 4 rounds of golf, all 4 nights of the 19th hole for you and a guest. Plenty of players eat and drink their entry fee for sure. So
yeah.
It's definitely a good value. We've got an awesome gift bag. It's valued at $200 or $300 worth of merchandise. You're getting a polo, a hat. We actually have a few new items this year. We're giving away a bathroom dock kit type thing, as well as a valuables pouch. So obviously these players are traveling into town. They need the best type of equipment to travel with. So why not give them World Am branded travel merchandise? But yeah, $629 for the early entry rate. And then by the end of the summer, we do have some price increases just because as we get closer to the event, things start to, kind of crack down. We got to get everybody in. So they do have to increase the price a little bit for last minute people. Yeah. So $729 is the maximum price by the end of the summer. But if you know you're coming to town, know you're wanting to play, definitely reach out early in the year, February or March, and that's when you're going to get in for the lowest price.
Now, how many courses in Myrtle Beach participate in this particular event?
Yeah, so I think this year we've got 55 or 56 total. We annually have over 50 that are involved throughout the week. Some courses host all 4 days. Some host just Monday or just Thursday, whatever they choose. Like I said earlier, we have 31 that are in play each day, but over 50 are involved as a cumulative total for the week. We do have a few courses this year that were in the event years ago. Were not the last few years for whatever reason they decided, but they are back in the loop this year. Most notably, Pauley's Plantation. It's a fabulous golf course down on the south end. Jack Nicklaus design. They just did some awesome renovations out there. I got to play it late last year. It is magnificent. It's back in the rotation this year, and then as well as the Legends Resort courses, Heathland, Moreland, and Parkland, right there, center of town, just off 501. They're back in the mix this year as well. They've got some awesome Pete Dot designs out there, as well as some others. So we're super excited to have them all back in the loop. And like I said, they're involved in the over 50 courses that we have.
Well, I assume this is also to promote Myrtle Beach, and 50 courses sounds like a lot to people who are not from that area, but that's about half of the courses that are still in the Myrtle Beach area, from the North Carolina border all the way down almost to Georgia.
Yep. Yeah. So the Grand Strand is what we call it here in town. It's a very long stretch, about 2 hours worth of golf courses. It starts as far south as the Georgetown area. I think Wedgefield Country Club is going to be our farthest south course this year. And then goes as far north as just north of Charlotte, North Carolina, River's Edge, Lockwood Folly. Those are some of our more north end courses. So yeah, it's a 2 hour stretch of golf courses. You don't see anything else like it in the country, nonetheless, the world. So why not invite all of the world to Myrtle Beach every August to enjoy it?
It's a great idea because I'm sure there's kind of a lull late in August before the Labor Day weekend rush. It gets people to Myrtle Beach. Secondly, the people who come to this are the people, they get exposed to the Myrtle Beach golf courses. Probably a lot of them are regulars, but this is a way this is your audience. These are golfers who like to travel, want to play new courses.
Right.
And you get it all together. I mean, it works both ways. I love playing different courses, and you come 4 years in a row, you're going to play 15 or 20 new courses.
Yeah, that's the thing. So we just wrapped this up last week. I can't share any of the decisions that were made. That'll get released later into August. August 19th will be course assignment day, but we do have a rough draft of where we're going to be sending some flights. Obviously, with no handicaps in yet, we can't actually assign players to those, but we do have a rough idea of what divisions are going to be playing where. But that whole process, it takes 10, 12 hours. We get here in the morning. We stay till 7 or 8 o'clock at night. We sit down. We look at who played where each of the last 2 years. So let's say the flight you played in, the top men's flight, let's say they played at Paulie's and Barefoot in 2023. Well, we'll sit down, we'll look at it, we'll make sure that flight doesn't play either of those courses this year. And we do that for every single flight, every single division. It's quite the process. I like to call it a large Sudoku puzzle for golf. We're just plugging in golf courses, trying to see where they fit. People would think initially that it's an easier process and project than it is, but I loved math in school, and it is one of the more difficult puzzles I've had to look at, and it's super enjoyable. But yeah, we care a lot. We look at who played where in the last 2 years, and then we also look at travel. So we use that Myrtle Beach Convention Center kind of as a center point, and then we kind of place golf courses from there to make sure all flights have more of an equal driving range. As I said, Wedgefield Country Club, one of our more south courses, awesome layout. It's a fun course. If you get that one, your north end's probably going to get stretched down a little bit because we don't want you having to drive to the 2 north and south extremities. We care about that, so we don't want to send you on a long drive every day. So it's a lot of different factors that go into it, but it's something that we really take seriously.
When you mentioned math, go ahead, Kathy.
When you said driving range, in that instance, you meant how far people have to drive to the golf courses, correct?
Correct. Yeah. So let's. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Driving range. Right. That's a bad term to use when you're talking about golf courses.
Term. And because that's a long. I have driven it. I'm sure everybody's driven it from time to time, going from something that's way north down to something that's farther south.
It takes longer than you think.
It does.
It does. Yeah. It's a beautiful drive. Don't get me wrong. It's some of the beautiful parts of the country for sure. But if you're having to get up at 6 o'clock on the first round to get your tee time, we don't want you having to get up at 6 o'clock the next morning too. So, for example, you might have Wedgefield on the first day, which may be a longer drive. You'll have Myrtlewood Pine Hills the next, which is you can almost walk to it from the convention center. So we try to make it equal to whether we're giving somebody an extremity or more middle. At the end of the 4 rounds, everybody's going to have a fairly equal total driving range, driving distance.
That's a lot of thought that goes into making sure your guests have a good time and want to come back and want to tell their friends. And
it is.
What's the most that you think you could handle? Could you double the size of this tournament?
It's a good question. Obviously, we want to get as many people to Myrtle Beach as we can because at the end of the day, the event's not here. It's not here to make money. It's not here to do any of that. It's to get people to Myrtle Beach. That's our job in general. We want to get people here all year round. The whole community comes together to make sure this event succeeds, whether it's calling ahead of time to make sure the golf course is in good shape or just sitting down helping the course assignments. We want to make sure everything's good at the end of the day for the event. So we don't mind going that extra mile during course assignments and all that to make sure it gets done.
Kathy, there's only so much ice cream that's available at Friendly's. You can't have 30,000 people.
No. Yeah, that's I'm glad you said that. It made me remember the initial question. Could we take more? We could definitely take more.
You could double it or almost double it.
Yeah.
I mean, you could have 5,000 if you could get golf courses to cooperate. Not all of them are going to want to do this. And
obviously we need the assistance from the golf courses, obviously. Right. But I'm sure if we came to them in June and said, "Hey, we're way overpaced this year. We're going to have 4,000 or 5,000 people in town." If I was a head professional at a golf course, I don't know why I wouldn't put my name in the hat and want my golf course in front of 5,000 traveling golfers. It's not only a tournament.
This time of year.
What's that?
Especially this time of year in August, which is not technically high season in Myrtle Beach, but you get them to come back at another time.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's at the end of the day, I plenty of people support the event. It's awesome. I wish more people would see it as the marketing opportunity that it is. You're not only just having golfers come in and buy food and drink and a golf round from you. At the end of the day, this is like the best billboard possible. You're putting your name in front of 5,000 people. If it were to grow to that big, but right now annually they're getting their name and everything in front of 3,000 plus players that are also going home and telling 5 friends apiece. Yeah. And then at that point, that's 15,000 people that you've touched right there just by hosting a round of golf at the World Am. So
when you're trying to organize a trip to Myrtle Beach with your buddies, there's so many golf courses to pick from. It's kind of overwhelming. If you've already been down and played in the tournament and you found 1 or 2 courses, or over a couple of years, you found 5 or 6 that you like, you're going to want to go back there and play. So it's kind of a way to scout Myrtle Beach for your regular trips with your friends.
It is. If you've never been to Myrtle Beach, I think personally it's best to experience the World M first. We're going to do all the hard work for you. We're going to assign your courses.
Okay.
We're going to book your tee times for you. We're going to do everything for you. And then at the end of the night, we're going to send you home with a full stomach after going to the 19th hole. And then after the event, if you've got more buddies at home you want to bring to town, that's our goal. So tell them to come on, and maybe you'll play a few courses you had at the event. And then who knows, maybe you'll find a few new ones on your trip as well.
And there probably will be sprinkles. Now, you mentioned
sure.
math, Dylan. That's kind of the fun part. The downside is it's handicaps. Some people's handicaps aren't accurate. I know last year there was a guy who shot 82, 86 with a 20 handicap. And it turned out he hadn't posted a score all year. So there was an issue, but it's an ongoing thing. I'm sure, I think the story said 13 players got disqualified last year. They're allowed to keep playing, but they're out of the competition because their handicap are considered
prizes.
inaccurate for whatever reason.
Prizes at that point.
Tell us how that process works. They take somebody in the back room, they hit them with a rubber hose until they
You hit the nail on the head. Right? That tells the whole story. Just take them in the back and hit them in the head. Yeah, that tells it all. No, I'm joking. It's obviously, this is a great job. That's obviously one of the lowlights of it, having to tell somebody that just gave you $600 that they're not eligible to win anything at that point. But at the end of the day, some people, like you say, intentionally have bad handicaps. Others just have a lack of knowledge about the system and do things with no intent, but their handicap is wrong at the end of the day. As a staff, we don't care if there's intent or not. If your handicap is wrong at the end of the day, it's wrong. Doesn't care if you meant to, doesn't care if it was an accident, whatever. It's something our event takes very seriously. When I go home and tell my friends about it, that they play golf, but they don't know a ton about handicaps, I'll tell them, yeah, we had to do this, had to do that. But it's just something that, I don't know, protect the integrity of the event. So you said 13 people out of 3,000 got disqualified. Yeah. That's such a small percentage, but we don't look at it as trying to do something like that to the 13 people. We look at the 3,000 plus that it benefited by keeping it in integrity and in a valid event.
Whoever wrote the story included a fact that that guy's buddy that I mentioned wrote a letter saying he's the most honest guy. No, I play golf with him every week.
Right.
Well, if you play golf with him every week and he never posted a score since April, well, that's a problem.
There's a problem.
So there's two possibilities why the guy's not posting scores. It's because he forgets or, he didn't want to post scores. But anyway.
Yeah. Like I said, too, at the end of the day, it may be no intent at all. That's
right.
2/3 of them are people that have no idea that they're doing anything wrong. Had one guy call last year. We have an admin system where we have record of all players that's ever played in the event. We're able to make notes and such. And we had one, obviously I won't say the name, but had a guy that reached out, talked about posting handicap scores, had questions, which is great. We love talking to people about handicaps. We love being informative, helping them learn. But he told us something, and it kind of made a red flag in our head. He said that if he was playing a hole and chipped in for a birdie or holed out from the fairway, he wouldn't post the score using that. He said that he didn't deserve it because it was like a lucky shot or something. So he would still record par and post it as such. So we put that in our system. We were like, hey, funny story, blah, 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 listed that. And then come to find out, unfortunately, at the event, he was one that just continuously beat his handicap every day, and was one that we had to call. And we actually, in the discussion with him, we brought it up and said, yeah, like this is – because he kept saying, like, I'm not trying to do that. I'm not trying to change my handicap or inflate it or anything. But at the end of the day, something like that is just an honest mistake to where, like, he's – I don't know. In his mind, he was just an honest guy that wasn't trying to do anything. But something silly like that, saying you didn't deserve a chip in or something like that's – it's an honest mistake.
If you shoot 20 under net or something, you're 10 or 12 under net, that's just it's really not mathematically feasible.
Right.
So, Gary, what's the best prize or whatever that you could have won, even though I don't think you took any of the prizes from the tournaments you played? What was the best stuff you got?
Well, we're talking like 10 or 12 years ago, Kathy. I don't remember anything.
You don't remember yesterday? Is that what you're telling me?
Well, No, I don't remember.
Okay.
Let me tell you I can tell you what you could have won. I
Yeah,
can tell you that.
there you go. Let's hear that.
We give out top 5 prizes for every flight, whether it's gross, net division, or even, like I said, just for fun. We'll give out top 5 prizes randomly and kind of like a drawing. But we have a good relationship with the PGA Tour Superstore to where a first place winner is going to take home a $600 PGA Tour Superstore gift card, buy a brand new driver, whatever they like with it. Excuse me. They'll also get a nice plaque that shows they are a flight winner, and then we'll pay out all the way through 5th place with smaller PGA Tour Superstore prize amounts. But yeah, we give out those prizes, and then we have some good daily prizes as well. We give out low net each round, as well as we have different types of like closest to the pins, longest drives, closest to the line, stuff like that. That is actually a partnership we have with Next Belt. We've got some custom World Am belts this year for both the men and the women. So anytime you win one of those daily prizes, you'll get to go to the prize booth at the 19th hole and pick up a custom belt, which is pretty awesome. I'm actually wearing one right now myself. So it's
wasn't nice. At the 19th hole, wasn't there like a PGA Tour Superstore mini store where you could shop?
There is. Yep. Yeah. So that is actually within the 19th hole. We actually have a World Am shop now that we've gotten in the last few years. We sell all types of World Am merchandise. Obviously, the PGA Tour Superstore card wouldn't apply there, but we do have some awesome merch for everybody. And then we have some vendors that we give special permissions to use our logos as well. And sometimes they have some cool stuff.
I want the T-shirt that says, "I got DQ'd at the World Amateur."
That's not a bad idea. We might have to start selling
Put
those.
a big like 52 in the middle of it. I got DQ'd 52 at the World Am.
I can sign them too. I can sit in a booth and just sign it when people buy it.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Well,
but yeah, they do have a pop-up store there for sure, and they have some nice stuff.
I don't know if both of you know this, but the original PGA Tour Superstore actually started in Myrtle Beach. And I don't know if it's still in the same place that it was originally, but it was a humongous, like a half of a shopping center or something, store. That
was it called Martin's, I believe, possibly?
It was called Martin's, yes.
Yep. I was very young, but I do remember that.
I met the owner one time at a function for the PGA Tour or some such. And he obviously worked out a good deal with PGA Tour Superstore.
Yeah, so we have a good relationship with them now as well, to where when players first check in, we obviously want to make that a great experience, because for first-time players, that's their first interaction with us and our staff. Yeah. So we actually use both PGA Tour Superstores here in town. There's one in the old Martin's building right there at Broadway at the beach. That's kind of the more centered one. I'd say 2/3 of the field use that one to check in. And then there's also one in North Myrtle Beach, to where if you're driving down from, let's say, North Carolina, or you have a property up in North Myrtle, plenty of players check in there too. And the best part about it for the Superstore is that as players are getting out of the line, they're already seeing things they want to buy in the store. So it's a win-win for us because it's in a nice facility, and then it's a win-win for them because they're going to be in there shopping when they're done.
Absolutely, it's everybody wins with that one. There's no bad outcome in that situation, except you might run out of money. It's the only thing you could have as a problem.
Yeah, as a new Myrtle Beach local now, I went to school at Coastal Carolina, which is just up the road in Conway. Okay. Graduated in 2021, and now that I live here and have a golf store like that within 5 minutes of my house, I go in fairly more often than I would like to admit. So it's a good problem to have.
How many of the 100+ Myrtle Beach golf courses would you say that you've played so far?
You know, it's funny you asked that. I went out to lunch with a coworker yesterday, and I was talking to him about it, and I didn't think that I'd played that many. But then I started going down the host course list with them for the World Am, and there's only a handful that I haven't played. I've gotten to check that box off quite a bit the last few years, which I'm super blessed to have done that. I grew up in Central North Carolina, had my handful of courses that I would play with my buddies, and now it's like an encyclopedia of courses that I have at my hand, and I get to play them a lot. And I don't know, to put a number on it, I'd say maybe 2/3 of the courses I've played, probably around 50 to 60 of them, and there's obviously still some that I need to play, but I've put a pretty good dent in it so far. So.
Well, talking about this event's got me fired up. I'm kind of regretting having booked a flight to Atlanta for the Tour Championship now. I think next year, assuming I'm still mobile, can hit the ball, I'm going to have to come down to Myrtle Beach. And
well, like I told you before we went on there, if you can change your plans and come here, we'd be happy to have you at any point. And we got that brand new gross division that you'd be perfect for. We would love to have you.
All right. So if you're watching this, people, you're going to have to get on the phone and call because their deadline's approaching. Hurry up and get to Myrtle Beach Am. You get all kinds of golf. You get Myrtle Beach. You get the beach. And there's ice cream. And I've already forgotten now whether there were or weren't sprinkles involved. But
there's definitely sprinkles. If they're not, I will make sure they are out night one.
Yeah, Dylan will bring this. He's the chair in charge of sprinkle. He's the sprinkles captain.
Yeah, that could be my new title, sprinkle guy. That works.
And if you miss this year's tournament, or you're too late, or they're filled up for this year, be sure to pay attention starting February or March of next year and sign up and go with a bunch of friends and have a great time. I mean,
well,
I remember Gary talking about
that's the other thing. The guys you play with, good chance you're going to wind up being friends with them. And you might go on somebody you meet from Kansas might turn out to be fun to be with. And within the next year, you might go play golf with him somewhere in the country. So it's a great way to meet people too. Even though we've become an antisocial society. Yeah,
that's one of the coolest things. I'll do a quick story about something particular with that. But there's two guys. We obviously run events throughout the year here in Myrtle Beach through playgolfmyrtlebeach.com tournaments division. But we had two gentlemen, both played World Am a lot. They met each other at the 19th hole. Very different backgrounds, very different parts of the country they came from. That was probably 2 or 3 years ago. And now I see them at 3 to 4 events throughout the year. They're playing as partners in a lot of our two-man tournaments, which is just such an awesome story. Because like I said, they came from 2 different backgrounds, 2 different parts of the country. They met at the 19th hole over a drink or a bite to eat. And then now they come back to Myrtle Beach to enjoy it together as 2 brand new friends. So anybody in the world can come to town and have a forever friend. And it's pretty awesome.
I think the only things you're missing are the official World Handicap Am rankings of players going into the event, and of course, free tournament wagering.
Yeah, for sure. We might have our own internal list of some names we think are pretty good. No, I won't get into that.
If I could go to FanDuel and get some bets down on this, that'd be awesome.
Me and my buddies joke all the time. It'd be hilarious to. Just for our regulars that come back every year, we'd love to have a little DraftKings type setup for that, but
that'd be
wouldn't
cool.
Quite be the most legal thing.
Well, hurry up and enter, people. Your time's the clock's ticking. Dylan, thanks for being with us today.
Yes, sir. And of course, if anybody misses out this year, obviously we'd love to have you next year. If you just want to go to myrtlebeachworldamateur.com, right there on our homepage, we do have a newsletter sign up. The event is very good about sending out communications all throughout the year. We even do a big Christmas giveaway that I kind of spearhead every December. So if you're a new player, you want to get involved and you miss out on this year, stay tuned for the rest of the year. Get involved in our Christmas giveaway. The final day we give away a free entry every year on New Year's Eve. So just stay tuned for that. And then like we talked about earlier, just check back in early 2025 and we'll let you know about when we're going to open up registration.
Thank you very much. I think hopefully you'll get like another 1,000 people or something, and you'll have to open up more golf courses. I hope that happens.
That would be the best nightmare I could ever see. It'd be awesome.